Hello, my fellow magic makers, and welcome back to the most magical channel on Earth. Seeing as you probably saw the title, you probably know what this video is about. Once Upon a Time is a show I greatly enjoy, and I enjoy its take on fairy tale characters. I suggest you watch the show before you watch this, because there's lots of spoilers in this. Okay? Well, I'm counting down my top 10 favorite episodes from the show. Remember, this is my opinion, so the opinion might be different, and that's completely fine. I'm just sharing my opinion with you guys. So, let's get started. I originally wanted to do this for the show's anniversary, but that was a while ago. So, no time like the present. Now let's get started. Number 10. Saving Henry's from Season 3. And expect a lot of Season 3 episodes, because in my opinion, that's when this show peaked. And, I don't know, at its best. And this episode has a lot of great things about it. Okay, so Henry, a small boy, who's one of the main characters, was tricked into giving his heart over to Peter Pan, who is a villain in this show. And I love that. Because I never liked Pan when he was a hero. So, in order to save Henry... Save Henry? That's the title of the episode! Mind blown. So they need to get Henry's heart back from Peter Pan quickly in order to save Henry. The episode is very exciting and well-paced. And it has plenty of great scenes throughout it. And I love the scene where Emma connects to all the Lost Boys, due to her also being an orphan as a child, and convincing the Lost Boys to join her instead of Pan. Like I said earlier, Pan is a really good villain, and he makes a very effective threat to the main characters. And he makes a good parallel to Emma and Snow. And Regia to some extent, in terms of parenting, about how Pan abandoned his kid to stay young forever. It's complicated. Watch the show if you don't understand it. And Pan's lack of guilt for everything makes him extremely easy to hate. Also, Regia breaking out of the tree and taking Henry's heart back from Pan is a very cool moment. And it's cool to see someone get the upper hand on Pan, because, well, he's had the upper hand in every scene he has been in up to this point. So it's just incredibly satisfying to watch. Seeing this family all come together, even with their bad history with each other. They put all aside to work together in order to help Henry. Seeing Bellfire and Rumpel reunite, and Bellfire basically forgive him for abandoning him and all, but not long sister Rumpelband and Belfast the boy. No one in this show is that great of a parent. That they're all flawed. They are all flawed as parents. No one in this show is perfect. No one. So this episode is just one I really enjoy. It has a lot of great moments. And I just find it very enjoyable watch. That is why Season 3, Episode 9, Save Henry, is on the list. Number 9. Season 6, Episode 14, Page 13. Page 23, I mean. Sorry, I get that confused a lot. And I know it's a lot of numbers, but Page 23 is the name of the episode. 6 is the season. 14 is the number of the episode in the season. And it's on number 9 on the list. Hopefully you get it. Regina, the evil queen, drunk a potion to separate her from her bad side, who now wants to kill Regina, her good side. And this is the episode where they're gonna have their final battle. Their battle is really cool and fun to watch. But the best part of the episode is when Regina defeats the evil queen, and instead of killing her, she ends up giving her some of her light, so she can be her own person and not this pure evil. Because Regina has learned to love all versions of herself. A really beautiful moment that makes her character arc come full circle. Poetic. Absolutely poetic. Beautiful. I'm not crying, they're crying. There's also a nice moment between Snow White and Hook. Captain Hook's a good guy in this, by the way. About, like how happy endings are possible for anyone. And all that. There's also some drama going on between Hook and Emma. Some of it felt a bit forced to me, but I'm glad it didn't last long. Only really for this episode. And all the stuff with Regina is just so good that I had to put it on this list. And that is why this episode is amazing. We're sticking with Season 6, because next we have number 8. 6, Episode 20, A Song in the Heart. This is a musical episode. And I love it. The songs are really good and fit the characters really well. The Black Fairy makes a really good threat for the episode. And Emma losing the power of song to fight back against her is a great character moment. We learned at the beginning of the episode that Emma wanted to be a singer as a child. So, it's just a great moment for her character. Emma and Hook's wedding is great. That I just love musicals, so of course this episode's gonna be on here. It's just fun. It's just so much fun. Number 7. Season 3, Episode 11, Going Home. Peter Pan, still around, is gonna cast a curse on everybody. It's gonna make everybody miserable. So everybody's working together to stop Pan before he can. This episode is well paced and very dramatic. Pan is a great villain, like I said earlier. And this is the episode I realized that he is probably the worst father in any dang. Seen plenty of terrible dads in films, in TV shows. But this guy is awful. And Rumple taking Pan down is just incredible. Seeing Pan turn back into the old man he actually is, and him basically begging Rumple not to kill him, even though it's clear that it's basically all just manipulation. It's just a great way for this villain to go out. Pan had the upper hand in pretty much every episode and scene he was in. This being how he gets taken out is just perfect. And Regina letting go of Henry so him and Emma can escape. It's just a beautiful moment for a character. And it is just an amazing way to finish off the Pan storyline. It's all really well done. Though the characters do reunite later and all, them all saying goodbye is still incredibly emotional. And a really beautiful scene. The amount of amazing character moments in this episode. Just wow. Episode 6. Sorry, number 6. In one episode 17, The Hat Trick. Oh my, this episode is sad. I think it's interesting that Regina's backstory and the episode where Rumple loses Bellfire are right after the hat trick. In a loading I call the Tragedy Trilogy. The Mad Hatter is only in a few episodes, but he's one of my favorite characters in the whole show. He's written very well, and he's acted to perfection. He really captures Mad Hatter energy with his insanity. Emma's stubbornness throughout this episode just shows how, stubborn she is. And she must his breath is off. The Mad Hatter is crazy. Well, it's Jefferson, technically, but I know the actor was busy doing other things, and that's the reason the Mad Hatter didn't appear more. But that's a real shame, because I love this character. This episode is just really well done and written amazingly. I think I'd even call it a masterpiece. And that is why The Hat Trick is great. Number 5. Season 3, Episode 20, Kansas. Selena, the Wicked Witch, plans on using a spell to go back in time and change things, which will result in a lot of the main characters never being born. Selena makes a really good villain. Selena's backstory in this is really good. And it's interesting how her main motivation is jealousy and how she feels robbed of what was rightfully hers. But this backstory really shows that she's let jealousy ruin every good thing she's ever had in her life. This episode kind of really feels like a movie with the big final battle that happens in it. All the characters having to come together to fight her is really cool. And really shows how big of a threat Zelena is. Regina taking Zelena down is a really awesome moment. I don't have much else to say. It's just a really exciting and well-written episode. And that's what got it on the list. Number 4. Season 5, episode 21, Last Rites. I love Last Rites. A lot. Okay, so Zelena, who has recently been redeemed, brought Hades from the underworld up to the real world. And got some evil plans cooking up in his brain. So Captain Hook teams up with King Arthur in the underworld to find Hades' weakness. Both in the underworld because they both recently died. It's really thrilling to watch all of this unfold. I really like Hades as a villain. He the caps as the loose car salesman version from the original Hercules movie, while still putting a brand new spin on it. And it's done really well. Robin's death is a very emotional scene, followed by another emotional scene. And Zelena taking down Hades is both very satisfying, but you feel very sad for her because, she loved Hades and all. And them naming Robin's daughter after him is just beautiful. I'm not crying again, no crying again. And Hook's resurrection feels very well earned for the big role he played in defeating Hades. It's a really well done and extremely emotional episode. Number 3. Season 7, episode 20, Is This Henry Mills? Of all the episodes so far, I just needed to figure out what was so great about them and why I love them so much. And let's try to talk about that. But with this episode, there are so many things that I love about it that I do not know where to start. The episode really feels like everything this season has been building up to is just exploding all at once in this one episode. Does Henry's stubbornness in this episode really rivals the stubbornness of his mom on how hard it is to get him to believe in order to break the curse that's on everybody and stuff. Though Regina and Violet try a whole bunch, nothing works. Till Henry ends up remembering by talking to his younger self. It's complicated and all. This show is so complicated. I'm trying to simplify this as much as possible. But the spell that was cast on everybody brought them back in time a lot. That's a long way. But he ended up calling and talking to his younger self, which helped him remember. Henry breaking the curse is a great moment. Gothel makes for a good villain. It's really great when Alice beats her. The scene of Alice and Robin is really cute. There's some stuff going on with Dr. Facilier, which is cool. The whole note that Lung Henry writes and all that is a great scene. Gina and all that. It's hard to describe. Just watch the episode. It's amazing. And then there's the cliffhanger at the end, which perfectly sets up the series finale. Speaking of which, number 2. Season 7, episode 22, Leaving Storybrooke. This is a really, really good series finale. Coming up with a good finale for the show would be a difficult feat, but the writers rose to the challenge. Coming up with who would be the main villain of the series finale, so they had a difficult time for a while. I don't know, maybe. But then they were hit with a stroke of genius. It would make sense for Rumple to be the main villain of the finale. He's basically the main villain of the series. But he's been redeemed. So now what do they do? And then they had that brilliant dot. They have a realm called the Rift Realm, which has alternate versions of the characters, including a version of Rumpelstiltskin that's still evil. They can just have him be the main villain. Then no, normal Rumpelstiltskin, it helps progress his character arc, because now he needs to fight the evil version of himself. It's a really good parallel. And then they had another brilliant dot, incorporating Rift Realm Henry into things. And Regina helping Rift Realm Henry is just... It's just... Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Rift Realm Rumple's plan is very intimidating. And makes a good final threat for these characters to face. The scene between Hook and Robin is really cute, with the whole blessing scene and all that. Rumple sacrificing himself to defeat Rift Realm Rumple and save Nook, who's this world's version of Hook. A really great scene, and the perfect way to end his character arc. And Rift Realm Rumple turns to dust, which is a cool reference to his mother's death. So I'd like to point out that during the Underworld arc, the, spirits of the dead people could only go to a better place or a worse one. The worst place was represented through fire, and the better place was represented through a bright light. And both Rumples die. Rift Realm Rumple gets turned to dust, and the dust flows into the fireplace. And Rumple ends up in a place with a bright light. Just a cool detail I noticed. Regina being the good queen and bringing all the realms together is not only the perfect way to end the story of this character, but honestly makes me wish that the show kept going. Because I think it would have been, kind of interesting to see all of this. And have a season dedicated to all the different kingdoms coming together like this. Though I'm glad it didn't, because this finale was perfect. That is why Leaving Storybrooke is great. But there's one episode that's even greater. Number 1. When I was putting together this list, it was hard, but I felt physically incapable of putting Season 1, Episode 22, A Land Without Magic, anywhere else on the list. Okay, so Regina accidentally put Child Henry under a sleeping spell. So Emma and Regina need to work together to find sign to help Henry. This episode is a work of art. Gives us one of, if not the greatest, backstory in the whole show, which brilliantly parallels the main plot, as Prince Charming basically does the same things Emma, his daughter, is doing in order to break the cast, including fighting Maleficent in dragon form. The best part of this episode is Emma's character and her arc in it. I like that in this episode Emma finds out that magic and stuff is real and all, but I like that she still is very practical and still somewhat holds on to her old worldview throughout the episode, having little faith in herself and constantly telling other people that she's not ready for this, even if them all are telling her that she can do this. Scene where Emma fights a dragon is an amazing moment. Not only does it brilliantly parallel the backstory, not only is it super fun to watch and awesome to look at. And I love the detail about Emma throwing her father's sword to the ground and grabbing a gun to use against the dragon because he finds it more practical. That's a really subtle detail to show that she's still clinging on to her old worldview. Once he sees the gun isn't doing anything, he picks the sword back up and throws it at the dragon, which is a very risky move. I'd describe this as taking a leap of faith. This is her somewhat breaking free of her old worldview, which I really love. I just love that they put this much detail into this scene. And I really like how Emma doesn't want to believe in magic, because she doesn't want to believe that she's a savior and all that, and that everyone is depending on her, because she doesn't think highly of herself enough to think she'd, be good at that, because she's super stubborn. So the only thing that could get her to believe in magic is when Henry's well-being depends on it. The only thing, whether you're a person, she cares about more than her own worldview. I think that was a genius way of getting her to believe. Props to the writers. They get the thing they need to save Henry, but Rumpel ends up stealing it. So Emma and Reggie are both very hopeless. But then Emma does the true love's kiss. Not only brilliantly parallels Snow White and Prince Charming, it's also one of the most beautiful moments in the whole show, as Henry wakes up, but also breaks the entire curse on the town, causing everyone to remember who they are and reunite with each other. It's just all amazing. It's truly magical, which is probably the best word I described this show with. This episode just embodies everything that this show is really well. That is why I think it's the best episode in the whole show. Truly incredible. And that was my list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And may the magic be with you always. Bye.